This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. You know what, Nick? You could probably bring up the sports schedule because, hey, mine over here says not working on updates. Our program today being brought to you by Taco John's, your home for loaded potato lays. 6-pack and a pound, their sirloin steak burrito, and, of course, Taco Tuesday, which passed yesterday. But you can always get tacos over at Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, you will find them on Highway 30, your home for Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. And you'll find some great bargains right now, too, at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delray, directly across from Menards, so check out everything that Chick-fil-A offers. And we're talking lunch and dinner. That's what they're famous for. How about their breakfast? Yeah, as you're heading into the workplace every morning, get a hot cup of coffee, and how about their hash brown scramblable? It is so delicious. Chick-fil-A, right across from Menards, open Monday through Saturday. Kia of Cheyenne, where you will find a great selection of Kias on the lot right now. AJ, Greg Miller, and the entire Kia crew say, take a test drive. Check out what they have for you, and then take one home tonight. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, do your banking at 2 convenient locations on the north side, on Vanda High, and at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank times 2. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Same location as always. Can't miss them. Right there, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body with the auto repair and auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue with a plethora of bays to get the job done, especially if you've got some hail damage. I'm going to go out on a limb and say quite a few of you. And again, they have the Auto Glass and Detail Center to take care of those hail damaged windshields over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, where they offer banking the old-fashioned way, customer service Monday through Friday for you. Talk to them about their CD rates. We also want to thank the Wyoming Montana Safety Council, 635-4592, Mars Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. A big thank you going out to my good friends Joe and Cesar Mondello, who did an unbelievable lunch for us today since we celebrated all of our August birthdays, and they put together a fantastic spread. Joey wanted me to remind you they're doing some remodeling, some restructuring right now in the La Osteria. So at the present, that is closed up for a little bit, but all of the pizza, calzones, sandwiches, we had them all today. The pepperoni rolls, salads, all there for you all the time at Mondello's Pizzeria. 7 days a week, you'll find them at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And our program, we always get things underway with our scoreboard. Nick doesn't have anything on his side, but he's going to take over for Pops because mine decided to work on updates all of a sudden. So he has...
If yours is causing you that much trouble, you realize that piece of technology is something we're trying to utilize for the upcoming season, right?
Well, you got to understand, I was doing other things that I flipped
I'm just saying, you complained about that piece of equipment.
Look, I flipped it on like 3 minutes ago. My bad.
I'm just saying, if it's causing you troubles going on, I'm not enjoying.
I say to you, I flipped it on 3 minutes ago. Obviously, if we're going to use it for other things, I'm going to flip it on an hour before we get going. My problem is
I would trust you with it. I'd rather myself do that before anything to prepare.
There you go, Weiner. Take care of it. And our scoreboard today brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Yeah, we do have a few finals in the books for Major League Baseball. We'll go out to Minnesota with the Twins. They got a 6-4 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates. And also to a final in Detroit where the Chicago White Sox beat the Tigers 6-5. In action right now in the top of the 8th inning in Chicago with the Chicago Cubs. They are leading the Milwaukee Brewers 8-4. Also too in the top of the 8th out in Oakland. The Oakland A's are tied with the Seattle Mariners 0-0. Games getting underway later today at 5 o'clock when we wrap up. You can see it on ESPN. Boston Red Sox will be in Philadelphia taking on the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Ballpark. At 5:05, you will also too see the Baltimore Orioles at home taking on the New York Mets. The Yankees in Yankee Stadium hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. Also too the Cincinnati Reds hosting the Cleveland Indians in Cincinnati, Ohio. Also too, let's take a look. You will have the Atlanta Braves hosting the Miami Marlins. That will be in SunTrust Park at 5:35 today. Colorado Rockies in Houston taking on the Astros at Minute Maid Park. Your pitchers for today for the Houston Astros will be Garrett Cole, and for Colorado, Tyler Anderson. Kansas City Royals taking on the Toronto Blue Jays at Kansas City. St. Louis Cardinals hosting the Washington Nationals at Busch Stadium. Also, too, let's see, the San Diego Padres hosting the LA Angels. That will be at Petco Park. And in Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, the LA Dodgers, they will be hosting the San Francisco Giants. That game will get underway at 8 o'clock tonight. So that's what's happening on the Major League Baseball side.
Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are getting underway here on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti and Nick Perotti, as we are here to talk some sports. We have a couple of special guests joining us on the program. I'll let Nick tell you all about that because don't want to take away his thunder. I see.
What thunder? From yesterday's show, just didn't want you to spoil it. Let us announce on the day.
I didn't spoil who was going to be on. I also saw this little article that you threw on our website earlier today.
Website? What do you mean?
On the K-Ray website, this Wyoming Sports Talk Today website.
How about social media?
Social media.
There you go.
Me.
Yeah.
Anyway, from
it's like I don't own Facebook.
One Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, out of the Jacksonville Jaguars, at least touted as one of the best cornerbacks.
Cornerbacks, not quarterback, but cornerback, right?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Cornerbacks again. One of the defensive backs, one of the top touted. Again, a Pro Bowler, and again, he had a few choice awards in a GQ article, kind of talking about at least trash talking or whether it be.
Oh no!
It was pretty much going through all the quarterbacks.
Tell me.
What?
In today's world, that's racist. all this is bad stuff. He shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. That's not cool by today. That's not politically correct.
What the hell are you even talking about? Racist?
This is not politically correct. What did he say here? He says, I don't care what nobody say. He's trash. That's terrible to say.
That's racist in your opinion. Are you an idiot?
I'm just going by the way things are today.
Again, the term comes to your mind of racist on that one.
No, I'm just saying it's not politically correct. That's what I'm saying.
Who cares? Was that ever the argument? It was just more so what Ramsey had to say across. At least again, it wasn't against Josh Allen.
What if Josh Allen would have said that about him? It would have been big news. Right?
This is already big news because, again, he's calling out different quarterbacks of saying, hey, Matt Ryan's garbage and everything. And, again, you in whatever fantasy world you live in, I don't think Josh Allen would have been seen as a racist or anything.
I'm not in the fantasy world. I'm going by the way things are today. You can't say nothing without somebody whining about it.
Well, again, what are we doing right now? At least it's a situation. All it is trash talk. That's all it is.
All I'm doing is playing devil's advocate. That's all I'm doing.
No, you're not. You're just being dumb at this point.
I'm not being
with
dumb.
Comments that you just, and again, leading off with that, I do not. If Josh Allen did the reverse to Jalen Ramsey saying he was trash, again, I don't think it's going to get blown out of proportion. Josh Allen considered racist. It's just sports trash talk. It's something that we've seen in not just the NFL. We've seen in MLB. We've seen in hockey, again, players calling out others and going, hey, I think I think you're overhyped. You're not that good.
I'm okay with it. I think it's great. I'm just going by today's world.
I don't think it's great what Jalen Ramsey had to say about Josh Allen. I think he's angered the entire state of Wyoming with his comments there. But we'll get into that again. There's no need to right now because we need to get to our interviews that we've got loaded right now. Again, we do have interviews with Wyoming football, at least offensive guard or at least slash center, but he has moved over to the guard position for this season. We will talk with Torrington's own Logan Harris. That will be coming up here in a few short seconds. And then also, too, we will hear from former Giant East quarterback, but now with the University of Washington Husky football program. He is the outside linebacker, Tevis Bartlett. We will also, too, hear from him later in this hour as well. So those interviews will kind of be back-to-back, at least mid with a break. So we will hear from Logan Harris first, coming up very shortly, and then Tevis Bartlett right after that. So I think we should get into that one.
All right.
Again, before the Jalen Ramsey thing, I don't know why you got into that. I even specified of how the schedule was going to go today. But
I know. I just happened to see that, and it's like I'm just trying to be politically correct in today's world.
Don't try anything, because again, you're just you're gonna fall down a rabbit hole.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Why would you say racist?
I'm just saying.
It's not racist.
Again, it
was trash talk. It was sportsmen of Jalen Ramsey trying to stir the pot in the NFL.
All right. Obviously, you don't follow the news like I do because you're too
I don't want to follow the news because it's pathetic.
Not to follow it because that's stuff that goes on every day, moron.
Yeah. So
every day that stuff is going on. You can't say nothing anymore.
Here's what you do: you turn it off.
Exactly.
You don't follow the news because it's all trash anyways.
You know, I like
especially on your mainstream kind of.
I like the trash talk. It's cool.
Your national media.
Because this is stuff you put on the bulletin. This is stuff you used to put on the bulletin board, and this gets you fired up.
Guess what? It's going to. I think it will. Guess what? Buffalo will take on the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up this season. Maybe Josh Allen says, "Hey, let me take the reins of this one. Let me show this Jalen Ramsey character of put a bomb right across his head, and there you go." Prove him wrong.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We come back.
We're not going to take a timeout. We're going to go right into.
We're going to go right into the interviews. All right. Well, let's go into the interview and talk to. I do believe we have first.
I just said the schedule.
I know who we have first. I'm just giving you grief.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Logan Harris, knucklehead. Let's talk to Torrington, Wyoming's own Logan Harris. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today we are talking with UW offensive lineman Logan Harris, who is a sophomore from Torrington. Logan, first off, before we get into, what's going on with the Cowboys, you had that opportunity, a great high school career in Torrington. Tell us a little bit about getting that opportunity to play at the University of Wyoming and not leaving the state.
Oh, it's definitely nice. Especially after seeing, it had been my senior year, and I had committed before my senior year to Wyoming, and seeing the season that they put together during my senior year was definitely encouraging to come here, and I was certainly excited to be able to come play here because you could see the change of the culture here at the university, and they started winning games, and I think that carried over into my freshman year, and so I've enjoyed it so far since I've been here.
Logan, as you are an offensive lineman, and again, too, we always ask players who is one of their favorites, on the professional side. Is one of your favorite performers on the National Football League side an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman?
Oh, it'd probably be a defensive lineman, J.J. Watt. I've always liked J.J. Watt since he got to the league and stuff. I've always been a follower of the Big Ten, too, so I watched him in college all the time when he played at Wisconsin, so he's probably my favorite in the NFL currently.
One of the things I have respect for offensive linemen, and again, obviously, my days playing football way back when I was on the line as well. But the one thing about being an offensive lineman, you got to have some intelligence. And again, too, you did the center position last year. But basically, under the Wyoming Cowboy system, you basically got to know every position on that offensive line.
Yeah, definitely. You have to know the spots from either the tackle to the guard to the center because it all just the domino effect. This happens, so this guy has to do this, and this happens, so this guy has to do this. And being able to know all the positions on the line definitely helps your understanding of the play. And but yeah, I think our coach does a really good job of, I shouldn't say teaching all positions to everybody, but he lets you know like what this position's doing and what this position's doing to help you improve your play.
You got baptism by fire last year as you were a freshman, and you were moved right there to the middle of the center position. Tell us a little bit about the growing up process that you learned last year, being at the center and being a freshman and doing the Division 1A football process.
Yeah, definitely. It was certainly different because no more than 3 months prior to my starting game at Iowa, that's when I played my last high school game. It was in the Shrine Bowl, and definitely when I first got my call up to compete with like the number ones on the team and taking reps at the center spot, you definitely saw right away how fast and different the style of play is at the college level. It's way different than high school. Everything's a lot faster. Like the D linemen, they're not slow. Everybody's athletic out there, so you definitely have to do your best to try to execute the play. But it was definitely fun being able to learn and see the improvement that you have made throughout fall camp, and then applying that to your first game, and then being able to improve throughout the season.
You're going to make the move to guard this season, and I guess is that something where the coaching staff came to you, or you said, "Hey, I'd like to try it out at this position"? How did that all come about?
No, so right now I'm currently taking more center reps than I am guard again. So it's always flip-flop down on the inside. Just like how you said, everybody knows the positions of everybody else's. And so, no, but in the beginning of winter conditioning, our head coach, no, not head coach, but our offensive line coach, he came up to me and said, "Hey, you're going to be taking guard reps in the spring, so you better start learning it." And so I took that and started taking guard reps during the spring and played all guard during the spring. And once we started here at fall camp, I've been doing a little bit of left guard, center, and right guard. So I'm pretty comfortable with all three inside positions. But no, it was definitely a coach's choice to put me over at guard, and now they moved Keegan back to guard and Pat's back at center. And so everybody knows all the positions in the inside, which is definitely a positive, because you never know when someone's going to go down.
You have a couple injuries along the offensive line right now, and again, one of the veterans is actually, both guys that are a little bit banged up. You've lost one for the year, and one will be coming back after the New Mexico State game. Do we have enough depth to fill in those holes there? I mean, one of the things I see what Coach Bowl has done, especially in the recruiting, he's brought in a lot of depth to the University of Wyoming.
Yeah, that definitely showed during spring ball. We had some younger guys that definitely could step up and play those positions, and that's showing right now. Even into fall camp, we're having some younger guys step up and being able to play the positions and hold their own. So that's definitely encouraging, and it's also really, really encouraging once we get everybody back and healthy that we'll have that depth again. So yeah, we got this first game, and I have confidence in the crew that we have out there right now. Even we're pretty young, but yeah, I'm really excited to get everybody back and have that depth again.
Once again, we're talking with Logan Harris from the University of Wyoming, sophomore, 6'3", 304-pounder. Logan, you know, right now the defense is getting most of the press for the University of Wyoming. Of course, last year when you were blocking for Josh, everything was about the quarterback going to the National Football League. This year, again, a lot of the pressure, I guess, is off the offense because it's all on the defense right now. But is this going to be a work in progress type of offense for the Cowboys, or do we got to set the tempo right away when we go up against the Aggies?
Well, I guess you don't know yet because we haven't played anyone yet, and so we don't know what we can actually do. We've been practicing against the same guys all spring and all fall, so we're pretty used to each other. But like I've said, on the O-line and all around on the offense, we have some young guys that are stepping up and being able to make plays that is really encouraging and exciting for this upcoming season. So, yeah, definitely we're going to have to set the tempo right off the bat, but I'm really confident with the guys that we have in right now, and I'm really excited. Like, this is probably one of the most exciting years that I've had so far since I've been, like, I should say high school and up, like, looking forward to it in the season because we really don't know what to expect, and I guess that's what makes it exciting.
Like the one compliment I paid you, again, offensive linemen got to be really smart because, again, you can get plugged in various positions along the offensive line, whether you're a right guard one day, left tackle the next. The playbook that you have at the University of Wyoming, just off the top of your head, how many different blocking schemes can you recall that you have right now in that playbook?
So there's 3 different types of pass blocking schemes. There's gap, man, and then zone. And then we also, like on the run, it also depends on the play and also on the defense that we're playing. Definitely, it changes your rules if it's a 4 front or an Okie, a 3-man front. So that definitely changes the different types. But yeah, like you have to be smart and be able to go on the move because there's a lot of teams that both play 4 down and the 3-man front, and so you have to be able to adjust on the fly. Sometimes they'll move their front in the middle of the play, and you have to recall everything and get ready for the snap. And so yeah, you definitely have to be smart and stuff. But I think the way that our offense has it, we have some really, really smart dudes on the O-line and guys that have experience. So that definitely helps the younger guys understand. And everybody is really encouraging towards everybody, so it helps other people learn.
You know, a point was brought up to me, and it was a great point, too, because you look at the blocking the schemes that you did in high school, and, of course, you have a position coach for every position on the D1 side at the University of Wyoming. Are you seeing different blocking schemes put into play, especially when you get to D1, or is it all about you got to block in this hole, you got to go after this guy? I mean, is there a lot of difference?
Yeah, there is definitely from high school and the D1 level. One, defensive players at the D1 level are a lot smarter than what they are at the high school level. Everybody has their own rules at the D1 level, so it's definitely more challenging being able to block, let's say, D1 players than it would be a high school player just because of the smarts that they have. And that's also why you have the blocking schemes that you do to make those blocks easier and more successful than it would be just running out there mindlessly.
Final thought, you get that opportunity to be at the University of Wyoming during some very special times, especially with the high altitude performance center opening,
Right.
and again, how the student athletes are treated, especially with nutrition these days. Tell us a little bit about a daily intake of food for you. And again, you're a big guy, but I mean, everything that they put together for you is nutritious.
Oh, definitely. The cooks that we have at the training table are amazing. It's great food. It's a lot better than what we've had in the past. But so usually we'll have breakfast early in the morning, and then when we get out on the field, our nutritionist will have a snack for you before you get on the field, and then after practice, she'll have another snack for the players, and then you go to lunch, and after that, you have a little break before position meetings, but we also have the nutrition center where there's snacks like protein shakes and like fruit, granola bars and protein bars and like all this stuff. So that's where you get your snacks before you go to meetings. And then you go to dinner at 5, and then after that, you have dinner until around 7. And then after your meetings at 7, at 8 o'clock, you have another snack, which is basically a meal. So you're having at least 4 or 5 meals a day. And and it's great. It's not bad food at all. So it's very nice being able to have those options when you are hungry or just need to put weight on.
And when you first were being recruited and had that opportunity to go to, to the UW campus, and again, too, obviously there's more than just, playing football. You got to do your studies, but let's be realistically, what the University of Wyoming has done and what the state has done, especially with donations and matching funds. I'm telling you, your facilities over there, it's almost like a city within a city.
Definitely. They're top of the line, and that was also another encouraging thing during the recruiting process, seeing what they seeing potential. They all saw potential, and like they're going to make everything better for the sports programs here, and even in the academics program, they have academics rooms in the new Altitude Performance Center, and so that was definitely encouraging, seeing that everybody saw potential in what was going into making this thing, and it's showing up, I think, and just having that is definitely encouraging.
Logan, we want to wish you all the best this season, a healthy season for you as well. Thank you for joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Thank you.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
All right, good half of football, boys. Now, good is good, but we can always be better. Look at Taco John's. They took those tasty little potato lays and loaded them up with bacon and ranch and all kinds of good stuff. They made something good even better.
Taco John's new loaded potato olays are loaded with craveable toppings for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
So olay the day, boys, and play like you're making loaded potato lays.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Paid for by friends of Mark Gordon. I'm Mark Gordon. You know my priorities: budget discipline, schools, and jobs. Other candidates are trying to tear me down for their own purposes, but their attack ads really say a lot more about them. It's simple. If you like what they're selling, vote for them. But I have real experience managing state government and a proven track record. I need your support. They want to buy a title. I'm applying to do the job.
Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 51. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 82. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 53.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
All right, welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today we have a very special guest on the line, and he is Tevis Bartlett, outside linebacker for the Washington Huskies. Of course, I don't want to age myself, but I remember when I was calling him in his quarterback days at Cheyenne East, and of course watching him do some wrestling. Tevis, I guess, with you being a senior this year at the University of Washington, tell us how those years have gone by so fast for you.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Coach Pete has a saying: the days are long, but the time is short. And I mean, there's not a truer saying out there. I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago, like you said, where we were playing at East and wrestling all over the state, and just hanging out in high school, and all of a sudden, it's the last year of college, and it's been a great time here. I've loved every year. It's a little different. This year, moving to inside backer. But, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited for my senior season for sure.
As you take a look at the Pac-12 this season, again, Washington is always mentioned amongst the elite in the Pac-12. So tell us a little bit about the conference this year. Of course, I know it's obviously split into two divisions, but let's talk about your side of the division. What do you think about the Huskies' chances this year?
Yeah, I think we have a really good chance of doing really well this season. I mean, our goal is always to win a conference championship. That's kind of what we talk about. But, in our program, we talk a lot about, like, the standard, right? And the standard is the best you've ever done. And so, we're focused on ourselves in the sense that, every practice, everything we do is the best we've ever done up to our standard. And so, we kind of focus internally and just kind of take, one game at a time. But yeah, I mean, you said it, our conference is, I think, one of the toughest conferences in the country. You can see any given week there's a team that has no business being in a game with a really good team, and it always seems to happen every year. And so I think, obviously Stanford's going to be a big game for us. Oregon is, Washington State, those are kind of rivalry games, and we kind of always talk about to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the last couple of years those have been the teams to beat in the North, and so those are going to be our focus for sure. But right now, like you said, we're just focused on fall camp, get better, and then pretty soon we'll turn our attention to Auburn.
We're talking to Tevis Bartlett, outside linebacker with the Washington Huskies. Tevis, I think of another former Cheyenne East product who is traveling all across the U.S. right now, that being Brandon Nimmo with the New York Mets. Talk about, again, when you're a freshman, it's one thing. Sophomore, you've been through the drill. Junior, you know what's going on. Now you're a senior, you're one of the leaders. But tell me about all the trips that you've gone on with the Huskies program, and do you still get an awe a little bit when you go into these enemy stadiums and they're packed houses, cheering on their teams?
Yeah, I think traveling is really fun, in my opinion. I think especially when you go into some of the stadiums like the Rose Bowl this year, or we've been to the Coliseum. And you just get to see some of these places that have great history. It's super exciting for me as a football fan, and really humbling in the sense that I get to continue on that football tradition in those stadiums and go play there. But yeah, I mean, I don't think to me it's not very intimidating. I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun to go into those opposing stadiums and have the crowd really rowdy, because when you go make plays, it kind of quiets them down pretty quick. And I think our teams have been, pretty good about that the last couple of years, and I'm looking forward to the season in general, like I said. But there's it's always a good time to go on the road and see these different places. I mean, our conference has a ton of different great places to play, great settings, and it's always a lot of fun.
Now, as we mentioned with you, Teviskin, you are a senior with Washington, but I want to go through your college career and just kind of bring up at least one game or maybe a specific moment that you can kind of consider your favorite all-time moment. Was it playing in the Fiesta Bowl, playing in the Pac-12 championship game, at least against Colorado in 2016? I mean, what kind of stands out to you through your college career at this point in time? What has been kind of that outstanding moment that you'll always remember?
Yeah, that's tough. We've played in a lot of big games the last couple of years, but I'd probably have to go with us winning the Pac-12 my sophomore year. When we played Colorado, we had some injuries, and so I got a lot of playing time in that game. And coaches put a lot of faith in me, and I played really well. I think I had way more tackles than I usually did. A couple TFLs and. Just that moment, going through, everything we do is tough. You're lifting year-round, and then, in the season, you're practicing, camp's a month long. I mean, it's long, and like I said at the start of this, that's everybody's goal, right? And to really, accomplish that was pretty awesome. And then, I would say the next, along that same season, us going to play Alabama in the Peach Bowl, and the playoff was an awesome experience as well. I mean, it was really cool to be a part of, the biggest, those two games, in bowl season are the two of the biggest games that there are. And to be a part of that was pretty awesome, pretty special. And, last year playing in the Fiesta Bowl, probably would have been a little better if we would have won, but that was also, playing in another New Year's Six game was really special. I mean, just the lights of playing the Pro Stadium, the people there. It's pretty cool. And, I know a lot of people, when I come home, they're always like, man, we watch you in these games. And, it's awesome to see, the thing on the bottom there where it says, Cheyenne, hometown Cheyenne, Wyoming. And, I felt that too growing up, like you said, with Brandon Nimmo and James Johnson and those, the other guys who have been, kind of in pro sports to see that, person in those big games and the big stages representing, Wyoming as a whole, I think it's pretty special. And so I'm, pretty honored when people come up and tell me that, and I think it's awesome that I can continue to do that for other people as well.
Well, let's stick on that theme, though, at least with Cheyenne, Wyoming, especially with your former, at least, alma mater of Cheyenne East. Again, we understand you're quite busy focusing right now on Washington Husky football and getting, at least, trying to win the Pac-12 and move on to, at least, postseason bowl berths. But do you ever get the chance to kind of sit back, take a break, and catch up on some East football? At least, do you ever look through the season how East High has been doing?
He's got a relative on Cheyenne East, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially the last couple of years. My middle brother Gunnar was, playing for East the last couple of years, and so every week, as soon as the game was over, I'd be in the hotel getting ready to play the next day, and I get an update from mom and dad about how the game went, how Gunnar played. So, I definitely stay in touch with the program. We actually had the coaches out here for our coaches clinic in the spring. And I think they learned a lot, and so, there may even be some Husky flair to the T-Birds this year.
It's interesting, especially with your career, and I'm going to go over the last 7 years because when you stepped into Cheyenne East football as a freshman, you went right into the wrestling program, then you went through East High School, you moved right on to Washington. I mean, your life has been nonstop. Of course, you got to do the student-athlete thing, too, and study. But have you actually set a course, again, you being a senior, is the NFL something that you definitely would hope that you're going to get a look at? Or what career have you decided to take upon yourself after graduation?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So I'm gonna pursue the NFL. I think one of the things I've always kind of gone through my life, kind of keeping an eye on, is I never want to regret anything. I never want to look back and go, man, I wish I would have worked a little harder. I wish I would have tried that. And I've never regretted anything like that I've done as far as like track. I was not a huge track fan, but I don't regret doing it. And so you only get maybe one chance in your life to be able to fulfill your childhood dream of playing in the NFL. So that's definitely something that I'm going to pursue and, kind of see how that goes. And then after that's all said and done, I'll actually graduate in the fall after the season's over. My degree's in education with a history minor, and so part of my the last parts of my degree is actually being a teaching assistant in a classroom. So I'll be in a classroom this whole season, helping out in there, teaching high school kids some world history and some economics, even though I may not economics might not be my forte, but so eventually whenever football is done for me, that's kind of the career path I'll go, teach and coach, and then someday I'd love to be in administration, maybe like an athletic director or something like that. But the cool thing is the way I've kind of set it up, or the way it's kind of worked out for me, is I have a bunch of options, and just kind of get a react or take those options as they come, depending on how everything kind of plays out.
Tevis, you've gone through being the freshman, now you're the senior, and I know you're one of those guys there that's going to be looked at as a leader to help the incoming class or even the redshirt freshmen. But for those that are seniors here at South, Central, and of course your alma mater, Cheyenne East, those that are looking to go to that next level, whether it is D1, D2, whatever the case may be, what advice do you have for them as they prepare themselves for college football?
Well, I think the first thing, that I would say is pay attention and focus on, your high school season, because that first and foremost, how you play is going to be a lot of what coaches are going to look at. And two, that's what's guaranteed. You're not guaranteed, and even then, an injury could make you miss the season. But that's what you have in front of you. Those are the games that you for sure can play in because you're on the team. And so I would say focus on that. When I was getting recruited, I told Coach Goff at East, Coach, I'm going to be a T-Bird first. I'm gonna try and get these visits and stuff done, but I'm not gonna get distracted. My focus is on the T-Birds. My focus on our team, and trying to win a state championship, ultimately. And so I think that's a big thing, is just focusing on their high school career. And then after that, I think there's a place for everybody that wants to go play in college football. I really do. I think that there's enough levels, there's enough places that, if you want to continue playing football and you truly love it, there's a place for you out there. There's plenty of examples of guys that have gone to, NAI, D3, D2, FCS, FBS. And so, just get there, just take care of your season, and then the rest will kind of take care of itself. At this point, schools should be talking to them. And so, as far as the way I took an approach to it was I just looked for the best fit for me, and that's kind of how I chose my school. And sometimes it can be tough because there's a couple different schools that are really good fits, but ultimately, it just has to be, what do you want out of college? Are you looking for a degree, looking to move up to, up a level or whatever the case may be? And then, from there, it's just finding what works the best for you.
Well, on behalf of my son, Nick Proetti, Larry Proetti, we want to thank Tevis Bartlett for joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634. Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today is hour number one, just about dosed. As, again, a couple of good interviews here with Logan Harris and, again, with Tevis Bartlett. And, of course, obviously, Tevis came in right after you graduated, but, 4 solid years that he had for Chad Goff. And again.
Well, I was asking you, and again, once I graduated, I was off the map again, out of Cheyenne, but, again, under my class, we had, 3 straight years of going to state titles. Again, one championship under an Alex Stratton as QB, and knowing that at least Tevis Bartlett was QB at that time, I wanted to ask you of, how did he compare to, again?
I think he's one of the best quarterbacks, at least in this system, under Chad Goff ever to come about. Yeah, I would.
In your opinion, at least for East, but not the entire city of Cheyenne.
No, in my opinion, for East. I'm not going to rate the quarterbacks, but I just, in my time here, I'd say he was one of the best quarterbacks ever at Cheyenne East. And the thing too, you look back, even in your years, your sophomore year, you lost to Central in the championship. You lost to Gillette your junior year. Campbell County. Well, they were Gillette back then.
No, well,
and then, of course, then you guys won your senior year, which you weren't part of the ball club at the time. So, again, under Bartlett, I know they won 1 year, and then I know that it was Sheridan the other 2 years that they had won. So, but East was always in the mix with him at quarterback. And then, again, he was also in the secondary.
Well, that's why I just had to ask you. It was Stratton who was always, our team was always in the mix. We were always kind of the favorite.
This team was also in the mix, too. It was a very accomplished ball club. Again, 4 years.
And I think that goes credit also to Chad Goff of what he's done to that program.
It's a system. I think it's Goff's system. If you find the right candidate.
And again, I think he carried off of what Coach Shroff did, at least those waning years that he was at least remaining there. Again, what Shroff kind of built, he took care of. It's essentially of what we saw. I'll take the analogy of the Golden State Warriors for what we saw with Steve Kerr, kind of not so much taking at least carrying the pieces, but taking what he at least his previous predecessor did with the program, and then getting NBA titles. I think that's what Chad Goff did, at least with East. Is hey, this is what Shroff did, kind of built it up. All right, here's this extra, at least, magic, or at least my little added touch to the system to vault it into what became, again, a very successful program, which still is at this point in time here in Cheyenne and across the at least state of Wyoming.
Well, when I arrived here in the mid '80s, and again, you look towards the late '80s when Jim McLeod handed the reins over to Lou Roney. And Cheyenne Central was just a dominant force. Yeah. I mean, every year you would bank on them being the championship.
You got to preface with East, that championship in 08, at least that one was the first time, I do believe, since 1958 or something. It was
he started
62 or something.
It was in the late 60s.
I don't think that's right. I think, again, going off of what it is, I think it was somewhere around that time. It was quite some time.
It had been a long time since East had won a championship. But the thing is, though, right now in this decade, in this, I guess you would say, century, Cheyenne East has been the better football program here in the city. Cheyenne Central has gone through some ups and downs,
coaching changes,
and
South
again,
is still building.
It was solid under Brick Sigelski, and of course, Drew Severin could never get them out of that neutral mode. Now you've got Mike Apodaca coming in, so we wish him all the best.
Yeah,
Coach Gallus has taken over for Tracy Pugh.
Yeah,
he's got him wins, but also too, the program is not where I think Coach Gallus wants it to be right now. Too, it's You don't show up every Friday night to lose, okay?
No.
You don't show up every Friday night to have a running clock.
Yeah.
You show up to win.
And again, it wasn't just for South or Central or anything. That was a running theme of last year. Last year was just an oddball football season.
Well, especially if you played Campbell County, and everybody enjoyed doing that to Campbell
County. It wasn't
County.
even just Campbell County. It was, again, we saw many contests that just ended up becoming running clocks.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that's the chore ahead for South High. They haven't been in business many years.
Yeah, as I say, they're still in their infancy compared to the other two here in town.
Right.
But,
Central has been around a long time, winning championships way back when.
Yeah.
And again, East comes around in the 60s, and then, again, like I said, they had
their last state title before it was 1974, so I'm thinking of 58 for that number sticks in my mind. I think I'm more thinking of the Giants, but.
Well, again, as you look at the East Thunderbirds, though, you would say here this decade, if you were looking, and again, I would say, probably at least 2, maybe 3 occasions they have been involved in state championships where they either won or they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
And it would either been to Sheridan that they've lost, and I think a couple of times that they've lost to the Sheridan Bronx that I know of over at War Memorial Stadium since they've been put that into play. So
go figure. After my graduating year, they move it over to Laramie, where we were just playing at whoever had the best record.
Yeah, you played it your junior year. You were at Campbell County. I remember that because it was snowing, lightly snowing up there at Campbell County.
Yeah, Central East was at East,
and that if you think back to that year, which would have been 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
For which one?
Your junior year, your sophomore year. Your sophomore year would have been 2005.
Something like that.
Yeah, 2000. You graduated in 8. Mm-hmm. So in 2005, the day here in Cheyenne, and again, Cheyenne East had been boat racing everybody, right? And the weather was great all football season long. Then we had that weird thunderstorm kick in right before game time. It poured. It was cold. It almost turned like it was winter. It went from summer to winter before that kickoff.
I can't recall. So
and for some reason, Cheyenne Central was able to.
I think they got a close victory over us, but again, I can't really recall.
I think and Coach Sigelski's son was at the quarterback position back then. But my point is, though, they managed to be the better cold weather team than Cheyenne East that night. East, but everybody expected East to win that one. I mean, that was one that there was no way you guys were going to lose.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, bingo, bango, bongo, Central's the winner. And all I remember, that was at Okie Blanchard, and Okie Blanchard was totally packed for East Central.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the best state championships. And if I'm not mistaken, I think on the track, it was all around the track. There was fans standing on the track there because
I think they brought out special bleachers in the end zone.
Well, they used to do that over at Central too. But the thing is, that was probably one of the biggest crowds I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Here in Cheyenne at Okie Blanchard. Yeah, you're right. So now they do everything over at UW. And the sad part,
as you could tell, we're getting into high school football again as it starts up next Friday. As
with our
week zero.
It's our week 0. But going back to UW, War Memorial Stadium seats over 30,000, like 33,000,
something like that.
And again, between let's use the Sheridans of the world, let's use the Cheyennes of the world. It doesn't have that same feel. Also, it's cold. Usually, there's a
but it's at neutral side. It's at big stadium.
Yeah, it's a big stadium, and that's great. But it doesn't have any home field advantage for anybody.
Well, I think that's the reason is, hey, you want that neutral site so you don't run into you got to travel up to Campbell County.
But what I'm saying though, Nick, is if you and I've done I think 3 games over there. You look across the way, whether you're the home team or the visiting team. You look across the way. and the student section is full, and you got a smattering of fans here.
Yeah.
Then you look on the west side where we're broadcasting, and it's not full either. It's not like going to a Cowboy game. It doesn't have that packed house. And that's
well, then what do you want?
It's a state championship.
All right.
I think and again, Laramie, who hosts it,
guess what?
They're not even big supporters of it.
Well, I'm just saying,
unless their team's there.
Then why don't we do that for NFL? Why isn't the Super Bowl played at? Hey, here's we do it in the World Series. Play at least who has the best record, at least home field advantage. Why don't we? For NFL, why isn't Super Bowl same way then?
Yeah, but the Super Bowl.
Would you rather have it last year where it was played in New England, so you give New England, at least Patriots, that advantage over the Philadelphia Eagles, or rather have it in a neutral site? I think again with Wyoming High School Athletics Association.
Yeah, but see again, you're apples and oranges now. The NFL,
not really.
The NFL will sell out anywhere. It will sell out anywhere. Don't go there. The only thing it won't sell out is the Pro Bowl.
Good luck getting 30,000 fans for a high school. This isn't Texas. You're not getting away with that. Clearly, again, you have to understand that.
And I'm not being a moron about it. What I'm saying is,
and it hasn't been an advantage for any teams local here in Cheyenne or Laramie. Again, what we saw last year. Guess what? Hey, Natrona had a closer drive than Sheridan, but Sheridan still proved that they were the better team.
And again, how many folks do you think from Sheridan actually drove down?
I don't know.
To War Memorial Stadium?
I would think a good amount. Again, it is state title. Your family certainly could be there.
Buses.
Well, yeah, you do have that student opportunity. Absolutely.
But
they've been doing student traveling, or at least student buses to cheer on state titles, whether it's basketball or football. Again, I remember when they had to travel up to Gillette for that.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, though, and
I don't know what your argument is. Again, it's a neutral site. You don't. Again, it's for folks who don't. There's nothing to complain about. You're not playing at it. You don't have to be forced to go up to Gillette or Sheridan if you're east. Or again, it's a neutral site. Here it is. The only advantage is to Laramie.
I'm just saying, they have 5 games out there: 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, and the 6-man. And you run 3 games one day, and you run 2 the next. And
again, it's something special as well, too, for those young men who might not be able to compete on a D1 field or something like that. Here is your opportunity to compete on something this massive, or, again, a massive scale compared to what's been your high school stadiums around the state. Here it is.
Same thing like it was in Hoosiers. The field, 110 yards.
Yeah, but there's something
120
special.
yards.
Again, obviously, I don't know what you're not understanding, but again,
I understand.
Hey, we are in Wyoming. Again, here's this opportunity to play on something that's bigger, grander. Again, as a young person,
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's too
starry-eyed at a situation of like, wow, I'm on this field.
Again, you're missing my point. I'm going back to the Okie Blanchard situation where that was one of the biggest crowds I ever saw. They don't draw those kind of crowds for championship games.
I don't think they care. I don't think they care. Again, I think it's just that neutral site to give those kids an opportunity to play on a field like that. Something unique, something different. Again, every other state kind of follows the same situation. Hey, guess what? Colorado, where do they play theirs? They play theirs in Mile High Stadium down there with the Broncos. They do for 5A. They certainly do there at Broncos Stadium. Guess what? At least I do believe in Washington State. They play theirs. I do believe in the Tacoma Dome. They all have one major location site where they go and play.
Okay. Well,
why should we be anything different?
That's fine. I don't care. I don't care if it's played in my backyard. My point is,
you don't have enough grass to facilitate.
Well, that's thanks to your dog. My point is, it's just too bad that this is a grand stage and it can't draw the crowds. And you say there, it's at Mile High Stadium.
Guess what? They have difficulty trying to get out for the actual college games.
Again, what was the argument? Here's where you made a dumb remark. At Mile High Stadium, again, it's in Denver, 1 million people. They will draw the crowds, and again, usually it's...
I think you're more facilitating my argument than anything. Again, go back to what we talked with Tom Berman, I do believe, a few months ago about with the attendance issues. It's an attendance issue even for Cowboy football games, for Cowboy basketball games, trying to get people out to Laramie. It's always an issue here in the state of Wyoming. Guess what? We're the 50th ranked population state. There's going to be attendance issues for every game. We can't get, again, a 30,000. For this season, you're going to be lucky for Washington State. That's where it's going to be at for that game, and that's about it. I don't think that stadium or the AA is going to be packed any other time this 2018-2019 athletic season.
You're missing my argument. My argument, again, is when you have even the locals like Cheyenne that we got to come over the hill.
Those locals show up, though.
Did we not
see Gillette come down and support in droves for the state tournament for baseball, for the Legion tournament?
Yeah.
Guess what? They were just as vocal.
Was there 1,000 people out there at Powers Field? No. There was about 100.
That field does not facilitate 1,000 people.
There was 100 people out there at best. So don't go there.
They still traveled, though, all the way down.
Yeah. And
I don't know what you're complaining about.
I'm just saying that you have this massive stadium at War Memorial, and it's just a shame that these kids are on like you said, it's great.
How is it a shame?
Because I wish there was more people that would have that opportunity to show up and watch it. If they sell 3,000 seats at Okie, or excuse me, at the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex now, or at Risky Field, or at South
guarantee
High,
you they sell the same amount wherever it's happening.
No, they don't. I guarantee you see a third of that showing up there at War Memorial Stadium.
Sure.
It's just the time of year when the championship gets underway.
Whatever you say.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We got to move into hour number 2. We will be back after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat in Marv's Plumbing and Heating. 1515 Logan Avenue is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe. Live safe.
This is R.J. Fox. 1480 K-Ray is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Join me as you'll hear all the play-by-play of Cheyenne East, Cheyenne Central, and Cheyenne South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason as well. During the basketball season, 1480 K-Ray will be featuring both boys and girls games. So catch all the calls on AM 1480 K-Ray. Also streaming the games online at 1480kray.com.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? They can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16th-month CD at an APY of 2.05% and a 27th-month CD at an APY of 2.27%. You can feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
We thank you for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Don't forget our telephone number. You want to chime in, 307-514-1071. 514-1071. Today's program being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming Montana Safety Council, 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria, Joe, Caesar, thank you today. You guys did above and beyond for us with the lunch. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about Sicilian cuisine, Paisan cuisine at its best from Mondello's Pizzeria. Remember, 7 days a week, and all ingredients are always fresh. First Tier Bank right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body, 2 major locations for you. The Auto and Truck Repair Center, Dunn Avenue. The Auto and Truck Detail Center for you over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicam Pharmacy. Get all your pharmaceutical needs there with your doctor's prescription. Oh, by the way, they even have a convenient drive-through. Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. Eastsiders, you'll check them out right there at the corner of College and Pershing. Original location on Vandehigh Avenue. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. 2018 model year, can you believe it? Just about ready to say, let's move them on out. The 19s are on their way in. Yeah, it's getting towards that time of year. So save some big bucks today at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week. Ray and Cindy's Place. I'll tell you what, great friends of ours over at the corner of Windmill and Delrange right across from Menards. Jolly Rogers, RV sales and service. Yes, you're home for Jayco. And they have served the community well with Jayco products over the years, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and again, you'll find them specially priced over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Taco John's of Cheyenne, loaded potato olays. Tonight's the night you grab the 6-pack and a pound, and maybe some sirloin steak burritos, or maybe you want to do that for breakfast tomorrow. Don't forget, every Tuesday it's Taco Tuesday, Taco John's of Cheyenne. And I know it's a shameless plug, but you know what? I'm going to hold it up to the camera. One of our fine sponsors who sponsors our scoreboard year in, year out, even when we do Wyoming Sports Talk today. That's a tip of the cap to my good buddy Will and the fine folks at Pepsi of Cheyenne. What do you got, Nick? Anything?
Nothing.
Nothing? Well, let me give you the scoreboard.
Again, we won't have, or at least on my end, won't have anything until next Friday.
Numbers that I have for you right now at the Oco. Well, I got Bupkis at the Oco.
Yeah, it's scoreless.
0-0. They have moved to the top of the 11th. However, for the Mariners, they got runners at first and third. 1 out in the top of the 11th inning. Again, no score in Oakland. It is,
and that's a game they can't afford to lose. At least both teams, especially with the A's, especially with Houston faltering last night against the Rockies. You're 1 game behind the Houston Astros or the Oakland A's. So again, it is a big contest, and again, same for the Mariners. They're still trying to crawl back in.
They can't fall another game behind. That's for sure. So M's and the A's scoreless, top of the 11th inning in the Oco. Finals that are in from earlier today. White Sox clip the Tigers 6-5 at Comerica. The Bucks lose to the Twins interleague play 6-4 at Target Field. Cubs win. They beat the Brewers in Chicago at Wrigley 8-4. Games getting underway when we say adios. Red Sox at the Phillies. It will be the Mets at the Orioles, Rays, and the Yanks in the Bronx. Indians Reds wrap up their series in Cincinnati Great American Ballpark. Marlins and the Braves, they will be in Cumberland, Georgia. Rockies, Astros on tap tonight at Minute Maid, 6:10. Who will get the call? Tyler Anderson for Colorado. He'll be opposed by Garrett Cole for the Stros. It will be the Blue Jays and the Royals in Kauffman Stadium. Washington at St. Louis at Busch. A little later on, a 7 o'clock game, we'll have the Angels at the Padres at Petco. Giants and the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium in the 8 o'clock hour. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
right, hour number 2, as Nick and myself were discussing things to chat about. I guess the first thing we will do with you, Nick, as, again,
what
you take them for what they're worth, but, again, it's nice to get the respect, the notoriety, and the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles across the board and their 2 fall programs. Getting some good
preseason recognition,
preseason space,
and again, it kind of continues over from last season. Again, with both teams keeping solid starters. Again, a bulk of that team remaining. We'll start on the women's volleyball side in the NJCAA Division I rankings. At least this, again, is preseason polls heading into a regular season, which will start up for both volleyball and soccer coming up next weekend. But for LCCC on the volleyball side, they come in ranked number 12 overall. They are just behind, again, just to name a few. Number 1 team in volleyball would be Miami-Dade. Number 2, Southern Idaho, Iowa Western. Western Nebraska is number 4. Taking a look at a few other teams of note, it looks like nothing really of big notability, at least around. So, again, LCCC number 12 ranked in volleyball preseason rankings. And then for women's soccer, again, in Division I NJCAA, Laramie County, at least LCCC, they are ranked number 2 in women's soccer overall. They're just behind Tyler, Texas, a team that LCCC has seen quite a bit. Tyler, Texas was your national champions last season. So, again, congratulations to LCCC on the women's soccer and volleyball side getting those preseason poll rankings. And, again, this is national across the board. Again, every team in Division I NJCAA action is a part of these preseason polls. So, congratulations to LCCC. Just taking a look at a few other teams of note, possibly. Again, no one really out of Region 9 action representing in the preseason poll. So, again, LCCC in the lone race. So, congratulations again.
And, again, just a tribute to the programs and to the coaching staffs and things
that
have been done.
Again, with men's soccer, they did have a rough season last year. They're looking to rebound and rebuild to back into notoriety, where, again, men's soccer out there, led by head coach Vince Gibson. It has been a powerhouse program. Last year was a bit of a hiccup with, again, a few injuries and a few other things, but they're looking to turn it around. But preseason polls, unfortunately, they are not ranked. So they're, at least in the fall sports for LCCC, the only team that was not ranked in preseason polls.
Interesting to note that the season, just like we were talking football, I mean, it's here.
Yeah.
It's here for just about
Well, they got
everybody.
scrimmages going on right now, but, again, the regular, at least the main event will be coming up next weekend. I do believe volleyball is in action right now, at least in a scrimmage over at the RAC, and their season doesn't start until, I do believe, the 26th of August, so at least that's Sunday coming up.
Unbelievable how fast everything is just moving along here. Again, we have our first football game coming up next Friday, as we will be live from Risky Field, Cheyenne Central, and the Bolts of Thunder Basin. Holy moly.
Yep, it's the beginning of a new era. It's Central, so looking forward to that. As always, again, with Mike Apodaca, who we've talked to earlier, at least in the year when he was announced as head coach. So looking to catch up with him.
That was a late announcement, if you remember, too, with Coach Apodaca. I mean, Central really took their time.
We had 3 basketball coaches that were decided before we ever knew Central High's football coach. So, yeah, they took their – and again – understand when we talked with Chad Whitworth that they were going to be very diligent and take their time on selecting a high school, at least a football coach, and they certainly did. And so far, for our understanding and talking with Mike, I think they're pretty happy with their man and looking forward to what he can bring to the table and revitalize that Central High program, especially with a young group of guys that we saw last season who are a little bit older, a little year wiser under this new program. Might be some interesting football we might be seeing between East and Central.
And I'm interested, me personally, on the offensive side, what Coach Apodaca is going to bring to the table for Cheyenne Central. Because let's be real, the offense under Coach Severin, and again, you don't beat up on somebody when he's not around to defend himself. The offense was putrid. Gosh, it was awful to watch them play. Defensively, they were solid. But again, offense was giving a lot of short fields to the Indians. So I'm I'm excited. This is a younger, it was a younger team last year. Some of those guys back again, the veterans. So
we'll see how well it translates this season. Same with South. South had a young group as well over there. And again, under Dan Gallus, hopefully
they graduated some veteran seniors though.
They did, but it was still a young group. And for South, though, there's nowhere but up for that team again. Where their only victory last season was against Campbell County. So for the South High Fighting Bison, this season hopefully will be a more productive and at least a little better run for them. I anticipate South will get a few more wins this year, hopefully. Do I see it as a team that will be competing in the postseason? Unfortunately, no. I think Central is a team that moves from that outside in this year. And I do believe we've already made these predictions, but I think, again, with East, Natrona County, Sheridan, I think Thunder Basin will be in the thick of things. And I think Central is going to be that team. Not so much a do you call them a dark horse? I kind of want to. But I feel like that's a team that's going to maybe catch a few teams off guard of going, yes, you might have beat them up pretty handily last year, but this is a completely different team this season.
Well, and also, too, as we were mentioning last hour, to fill the hole before the top of the hour, we're talking about the East High Thunderbirds. And again, with the T-Birds, the program has been solid under Chad Goff. He's,
minus injuries, which have kind of derailed.
The longest tenured coach thus far, behind Steve Harshman in Class 4A. So you're looking again. He's been there. He knows the ropes. He knows what to expect.
Yeah.
He knows when he goes up north to Natrona or this year.
They're coming down. All the big boys.
But he knows
down.
what to expect from a Coach Harshman team.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Wayne Welk, who was with me last year when we did the Natrona East game, the regular season game, we were watching the sophomore game, and in the rain, Coach Goff's sophomore team was very impressive as they beat Natrona. So again, these younger guys going to move up to the varsity level. I think the football season, especially here on this side, on the east side, and you never know with Laramie. Laramie's been so up and down over the
couldn't get you a pulse on what Laramie's going to be like, but I think it's a team that is on the outside looking in. Same with Central, but I think. Again, Central is going to be that team that's going to surprise if you. I have a feeling that it is under Mike Apodaca again. It's going to be this revitalization, this breath of new air over there at Central High with this new head coach where it not saying they're winning a state title here and now, but it is going to be a team that shows improvement. That it's not a team that we're going to have running clocks happen a lot at Risky Field. It's not a Sheridan team that's going to come in and just wipe the floor with a Central High team anymore. I think the Indians are going to be very improved this year. I think it's a team that does compete in the postseason. Not saying that they'll make it to the state title game necessarily, but they're going to they're going to surprise a few teams going throughout this 2018 campaign.
Well, and also too, you think about the football schedule in general, and you got to look at now 2 teams in Campbell County.
You can't. Again, I don't think you can really look at a Campbell County more so a Thunder Basin. Campbell County, what we saw last year again was one of the worst teams in Class 4A. And are they going to be improved? I think it's the same situation with South, where
be young.
They might steal a few victories, but they're not.
No,
they might get
no, not at all. I think they're going to be just as bad as they were last year. I really do.
I think they may get one win.
You had a few seniors anchoring that team and kind of giving it some stability last year.
Well, I think the issue with Campbell County is you had your mainstays who jumped ship over to the brand new Thunder Basin.
And Thunder Basin graduated quite a few folks there too. So how's that junior class going to be?
But you can't sell short anything coming out of Gillette. Again, Gillette, they are sports central. They know how to rebound.
I'm more curious about Sheridan. Again with Don Julian stepping down, and again, do I see anything?
I don't see anything different coming out of Sheridan.
No, do I see them losing a step to a certain degree? Yeah, under the leader, Don Julian is a great coach and will be.
He'll be in the Wyoming. The last step is they probably won't go undefeated. They'll lose one game.
Well, this is the Hall of Fame coach here in Wyoming, and again too with Don Julian, stepping away, and again having one of his assistants take over the program. I look for Sheridan to be a powerhouse again. However, I think once you have a coaching change, at times it's good. and other times it's not good. So I can't get a pulse on it right now until we get the games underway. And again, they did graduate some really good seniors last year.
Yeah, but Sheridan knows how to rebound, or at least reload every year. So.
Yeah, and again, they're one school.
And without knowing at least preseason polls for at least Class 4A for football going into this one, but I would not doubt Sheridan has to be a favorite no matter what. They have to be up top, and Natrona's got to be right behind them, number 2. And then you could probably pick hairs with East has got to be 3. Thunder Basin, maybe 4.
Maybe 4.
Or maybe Kelly Walsh might slip
Kelly
into
Walsh will
4.
be in the top 5, yeah. They'll be a number 5.
Yeah, Kelly Walsh is another team where they were mid-tier last year, but they might improve. But is it something where they're going to be better than a Central team? I don't know. I don't see it.
You know, again, everything all remains to be seen.
Yeah.
You won't get
it's any given Friday.
A pulse of the league after week 1.
No,
I guarantee you. So, and again, you know, we'll have
even though we're going to have big matchups. Again, I think Thunder Basin and Central, that is a big test for them, especially at home. Again, it is that first contest of going, all right, let's show Thunder Basin, let's show what we can do against the team. Because again, I think Thunder Basin pretty much cruise controlled against Central last season.
It was a high-scoring affair. But the thing is with Cheyenne Central, again, it's at home, like you mentioned. It's the opening contest for Mike Apodaca. You know, everything is in their court. Everything is in their favor.
Yeah.
So you would think if you are
take advantage of it, show what you can do.
You could be running into an ambush coming up on next Friday night, which we really hope it will happen. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come right back. We got some baseball to talk about. One of the best rivalries, and I don't think anybody's going to dispute that. We're back after these words.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Boys, I know you take great pride in being prairie dogs, but a mascot needs more sizzle. And what has more sizzle than Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos? So meet your new mascot, a sirloin steak burrito.
Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos are loaded with steak and bold flavors like cheesesteak, steak and potato, and steak and shrimp.
God, Wachowski, stop eating the mascot.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-thru window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-thru window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
This year marks the 175th anniversary of the first major migration west across the United States along the Oregon Trail. The trail runs through central Wyoming along the North Platte River from Torrington to Casper, then over South Pass and onto the west coast. Travelers favored this route because of the ease of crossing the Continental Divide. All told, as many as 500,000 men, women, and children would travel the trail. Independence Rock, Register Cliff, Devil's Gate, and the Parting of the Ways were major landmarks along the trail in Wyoming, helping to guide travelers west. This is Mike Strom bringing you a moment in history from the Wyoming State Archives.
We know Mark Gordon brings real experience in agriculture, oil and gas, even service on the school board. As a savvy state treasurer delivering record investment returns, he knows how to manage Wyoming's budget. The Wyoming Tribune Eagle says Mark Gordon, quote, has a strong understanding of the challenges Wyoming faces. It's true. Mark Gordon knows Wyoming, and he'll be ready to tackle the challenges on day one. Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
Paid for by friends of Mark Gordon.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 51. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 82. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 53.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Yankees, Red Sox, no.
That's not even a rivalry.
You know, the only reason it became a rivalry was because Babe got sold to the Yankees from the Red Sox. And
yeah, because Boston was stupid. So, again, that's the only reason why it is a rivalry. Again, Red Sox became jealous of what the Yankees become because, again, your ownership was just stupid and gave away one of the best ball players of all time. But, oh, well. But
the rivalry also was in the New York area between the Bums and the Giants.
Yeah.
For years. And, of course,
Brooklyn and New York.
And, of course, 1951 when Ralph Branca served it up. And the home run that Russ Hodges called, Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant.
Who hit that home run?
Bobby Thompson.
There you go.
The legendary Bobby
I have
Thompson.
his card autographed.
Good.
I'm just saying, you don't have that piece of Giants history.
And matter of fact, Ralph.
One of the most iconic, probably sports calls of all time.
Yeah, Bobby Thompson passed away many years ago, but Ralph Branca, if I'm not mistaken, passed away last year.
Maybe.
He had a really long life. And anyway, with the
what we're alluding to is Giants and Dodgers. Is going other way. Giants taking 2 out of 3 so far. They're in L.A. after last night.
Yeah, I mean, tonight, to me, if they win, it's bonus. That's all. I mean, getting
Giants are now 1 game above 500, but again, they're, 4 behind, or at least they're still within contention for the NL West.
They should be 5 behind because Diamondbacks won last night. Rocks are a game out, and the Dodgers are 2 out.
They're still gaining ground, though, or at least, again, with the Dodgers moving down, hey, we're still getting back up that ladder a little bit, or at least still trying to get closer within that NL West race.
So last night,
it's a team that's not giving up.
All right, last night, Giants and Dodgers in a typical matchup.
Tight,
close, and, one pitch, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And I'm going to go from the quote.
And it wasn't a bad, again, it was a swing and a miss strike.
He fouled it. Here's what happened. Oh, actually,
what?
When I missed the pitch, this is through the interpreter. I thought it was the best pitch that Watson was going to throw me, so I was a little upset. And Hundley told me to stop complaining, get back into the box. And when I got in his face, he told me to get out of his face. So that's when I got upset.
Who's
Yasiel Puig.
There you go.
I didn't like that he was telling me what to do, and then he said some words to me in English that I really can't repeat. So this is why I was upset.
Yeah, so stop being a crybaby.
Here's Hundley's take. We were competing on the field against the team we're chasing. They've been scuffling a little bit, and we're trying to catch them.
Obviously, they've been awful.
Obviously, a nice rivalry, Hundley said. We had some words pushed a couple of times. There's really nothing more to that than what happened. Dodgers coach George Lombard was trying to push Hundley away from Puig as Puig took a swing, and of course he opened his fist. He didn't have a.
It was like a slap towards Hundley.
Yeah, Lombard Hundley briefly ended up on the grass with Hundley on top of Lombard. So
again, Puig is a crybaby. You saw it in that swing, at least with that strike foul. I thought it was a strike and a miss, but neither here nor there. But again, you saw the frustration of Puig. He kind of swung his bat, got upset, and again, it wasn't anything of a bad pitch. It was just he couldn't make contact.
Well,
with it, or at least
you remember the night before. So you don't remember the night before against Mad Bum. He does his.
And again, Mad Bum and Puig already have that rivalry.
But he does his he's very animated. I'll give Puig that. He
tries. I mean, both players are.
He tries to be an entertainer, so to speak. But Mad Bum,
I wouldn't say that. He wears his emotions on his sleeve.
Well,
I don't think he's trying
Mad
to entertain.
Mad Bum threw a pitch that got Puig to pop up. What did Puig do? He threw his bat and caught it. He was so.
He just adds extra theatrics to everything, and it was the same situation last night.
And Hundley said, "Quit being a ham and egger.
Stop crying. Get back and play
in the box and let's play." Bingo, bango, bongo.
And I guarantee catchers throughout Major League Baseball history have said worse things to a player, at least when they have theatrics like that, at least where we couldn't repeat on air. It's a situation where Puig, you're a crybaby. Stop acting like this and play baseball. And again, it seems like the Giants-Dodgers rivalry, as much as it's always been a heated rivalry, but recently it's been what has been kind of the mainstay cause of every kind of bench-clearing brawl between these two. It seems like Puig has been the center of all of it, whether it is him trying to take aim at Madison Bumgarner, what we saw last night with Nick Hundley trying to smack him around. Puig is, I'm not going to use the word thug. I'm not going to do that like others have, but he's a moron. He's an idiot.
No,
why?
He's a crybaby.
He's a complete whiner.
And again,
he needs to grow up.
I told you, and I think when we had Chris in here prior to the trade deadline, I said it would not surprise me to see the Dodgers unload him because they're sick and tired of his act.
I think so. Especially after last night, that was kind of what was going through my mind. Well, I would not be surprised the Dodgers move on with him after this season, going, you're just a head case.
And Dave Roberts,
go ruin some other team.
He didn't need that last night. He's got enough problems right now.
They have way too many problems to deal with that. Yeah. We're now Puig possibly fined, possibly suspended.
I think he will get suspended. He has to get suspended. He threw the punch.
So,
it's
and
plain
again, you're already missing key players, and you're going to miss now another one. Again, Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, this is something you did not want to see last night, but guess what? It happened. And clearly it's the frustration of how bad this Dodgers team has been in the past 5 games, whether it is allowing 3 straight walk-off wins to the Rockies, again, blowing leads to the San Francisco Giants there at Dodger Stadium. Clearly it's frustration. I absolutely get it, but the theatrics by Yasiel Puig and everything – He's the biggest cause. He's the biggest troublemaker out there. He's the biggest crybaby in all of Major League Baseball. Get over it.
And it's interesting, too, because when you have a situation like that, it's better when the manager gets into it with an umpire because if he gets tossed, that kind of revs the crowd up and gets them all fired up.
Yeah.
But from a team standpoint, that lights a fire under the team. But what Puig did, he got the crowd all into it, booing the Giants and all, but it really didn't do much for the bench. The bench, was like you just said, what an idiot. You're a moron. You know what? You're not thinking about the team. No. You're thinking about yourself.
And that's all Yasiel Puig has ever been about.
Guess what? Puig got the boot, and Hundley got the boot. Well, guess what? Hundley got the boot. Who replaced him? Buster.
Yeah, Buster. And granted, you have Gorky Hernandez as well, too, that can be a catcher as well. So, again, you have that option.
What I'm saying, though, is it's like the Giants didn't lose anything.
And they came away with a victory. You figured that would be a big momentum shift or at least an advantage of, all right, hey, here's some fire lit under the Dodgers. No, instead, Giants took advantage of that and, again, walked away with a victory.
It was actually the fire was lit under the Giants, and it made them a better team last night.
Yeah.
So,
and this, not to predict the future or anything, but maybe this is something that the Giants needed, where this is kind of, as we're talking lighting fires under a team, maybe this is a situation where Giants, after that rough stretch against the Pittsburgh Pirates at home, even though the Giants have one of the best home records in the National League, at least in the National League West, it's a situation where maybe this is something where it gives a little bit of momentum for the Giants going to into the regular season. Maybe this is maybe a turning point for the Giants of going, all right, well, we're already beating the Dodgers here. We're still in this. We're not down and out. We have a lot of games to go. We might be back a 5 or so from that National League West title, but we're not out of it. Maybe,
I'd like to be sold on it. I'm not yet, so
we'll see. Again, in my theory, at least as a fan of this team, hopefully it will be a turning point or at least a kind of realization and eye-opening experience of going, all right, hey, we already got this team against the ropes, so what says we can't do it against the Diamondbacks?
Giants are going to throw
against the Rockies.
They're going to throw Holland tonight. Ryu will be on the hill for the Dodgers, and he's kind of been masterful against the Giants. So we'll see if the Giants can get the sweep.
This is not the old Dodgers team. Well, this is a team this is a team of last year that's in a major tailspin.
Here's a problem with the Dave Roberts Los Angeles Dodgers. Chris, if you're listening, you can agree or disagree with me right now, but. Yeah, and I know you are a big Dodger fan. I know there's quite a few Dodger fans that listen to this program. Blech. Here's the problem right now. Dave Roberts has. Ryu's going to get you 6-7 innings.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's like watching the Rockies bullpen. You may have a good effort, but probably won't.
Yeah.
Your 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guy who's taken over for Jansen.
But go figure. That's been the plague across the NL West for this entire season. And I think the Diamondbacks are the only team that have a little bit better advantage.
I know, but Kenley Jansen, he's more steady than any of the closers.
Well, there's no doubt about it. But again, now losing him, now you see the true value that he brings to that team and how terrible that bullpen is. It is a situation where, for the NL West, it's nothing new.
But here's
nothing new we haven't seen for every team.
The night before, when the Dodgers lost, you had Kershaw go 8 innings. He didn't let him finish it. Mm-hmm. Kershaw was basically handcuffing the Giants. It was a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
What did Roberts do? He didn't let him finish. Went to the pen in the 9th. What happened? Giants won.
Okay, well, again, you try to go for your closer. You go for, hey, let's try and
again. Why can't? I mean, Kershaw.
I don't know.
He was cruising.
Don't ask me these questions.
I know, but
anymore.
he's cruising again. Dave Roberts, Bud Black, Bruce Bochy, all from the same mold. And again,
yeah, but again, what has brought, at least Bruce Bochy has brought him 3 World Series titles.
Yeah, but Bochy
playing that same
same
game.
He does not have his 8th and 9th inning guys again.
I get that, but again, of that style of ball play, guess what? It's brought him three titles. A 2010 dynasty team.
Yeah, well, they haven't been anything dynasty since 2000.
Again, when you have the pieces there, clearly it works. We've seen it again where it was the most feared pitching staff of all Major League Baseball winning you titles. Again, it's a system that works. You just need pieces that are going to assist it or at least make it successful. That's clearly what it is. I don't fault them for what they're doing, or at least the style of ball play that they're managing out there for whatever the Dodgers, Rockies, Giants. I don't fault them for it, but it is a situation where you got to trust in your people. You got to trust in what you have as your personnel, and I think that's what Dave Roberts is trying to do. I think you may need to change things up, though, as it's been 5 straight games that you've blown leads. It hasn't been walk-off wins, clearly, as you are at home for the past 2 against the Giants, but it's a 9th inning run, a late 8th inning run by the Giants who get these victories. Again, 3 straight walk-off wins for the Rockies against you guys. It might be time for the Dodgers to might think about going that route of, hey, if Kershaw's going the 8th inning and keeping him tight, maybe we sacrifice his arm. Maybe he goes into that 120, 130.
I think Kershaw, along with Mad Bum, they've got the arm strength. These guys are warriors out there. I would let them go the distance. I have no
again with Kershaw though, he is very injury prone. He does have the back issues, and that would be something that could be alarmed.
The positive sign, again, as I bite my tongue here for Dodger fans, you're only 2 games out. You haven't. I mean,
for now.
Yeah, but I mean, you've lost ground. But you're still within the pennant race in the West. So
yeah, but now you brought in a new competitor.
There's 4 teams now in the pennant race.
Yeah, now you brought in a new competitor with the Giants to keep an eye out. Again, your rival, who it certainly has sparked under at least something for the Giants, and hopefully it does carry on for the rest of the season. And again, this is kind of the Dodgers we saw last year where they were, granted, well ahead in the NL West and cruising on to winning that division, where they were in this similar kind of tailspin of where this isn't the team we saw a few months ago. What happened? What is going on?
And here's the thing, too.
And I don't think you could put the blame solely on one, at least losing Kenley Jansen. I really don't think so.
It
is.
No,
It's a solid factor, but I'm not going to go, yeah, it's all on him for not being there.
I think out of those ball games, I would think at least,
especially with your offense, you're telling me your offense couldn't take advantage.
At least 60% of those.
Your
games.
Offense can't take advantage of a Will Smith who's been a terrible bullpen piece for the Giants. Yeah. You're telling me that offense that was,
And again, I said out of those 5 games, 3 of them, I think if Jansen would have been there, they'd have won easily.
Maybe.
He's that good. He's just not a. He's not a Wade Davis. He's proven.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, with the Dodgers losing, the thing that was interesting again last night was the Giants-Dodger rivalry. I don't think there's a better rivalry, and if you can find one, let me know. Again, throw out the Yankees and Boston. That's not the rivalry.
No.
I mean,
as much as ESPN wants to push it on you of, oh yeah, that's the rivalry, it really isn't. At least not in this point in time.
It's not Raiders and Broncos or Raiders and Steelers.
I mean, well,
no, I'm talking. This is
at least it's more in this part of the country.
This rivalry, and they play each other 19 times a season.
Yeah,
and then we forget about the times that they play during preseason too. Exhibition down in
spring training,
Arizona. Now, my point is, the thing is, this always has something to do with a pennant race. Neither one of these teams, when they're playing,
at least in this kind of decade, it has been.
Oh, I think for years this has been going on where either the Dodgers were on top, the Giants were fighting to get on top, and the Dodgers eliminated them. This is a rivalry that always means something in the standings. And again, too, I go back, like I said, 1965. Never forget this. And again, I may have been 8 years old, but I was reading listening to the Giants back in the day, Russ Hodges, Lon Simmons, Bill Thompson on KSFO in San Francisco, listening to that game where Johnny Roseboro threw the baseball that went right zipping past the ear of Juan Marichal. Marichal and Roseboro having words, bingo, bango, bongo. Marichal bangs Roseboro over the head with a bat. And again,
you clearly cannot do that in this day and age.
That's true. And then Willie Mays beats Sandy Koufax because Koufax obviously shaken by this entire incident. Mays comes up and hits a solo home run. Giants win 2-1. And a big old picture in the San Francisco Chronicle showing Marichal turning around to Roseboro with a bat, and then the next picture shows Roseboro with stitches on his head. So again, that's 1965. Fast forward here to 2018, and you got a clown like Puig. And I think that's what's happening right now. Puig has become the class clown of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I think the Dodgers...
He tries to be that centerpiece. He tries to be that egotistical person out there.
And he doesn't
Again, it's all about him. It's all about him.
Yeah, but he doesn't lead by example. Justin Turner leads by example. Clayton Kershaw leads by example.
I never would say that about Puig. I have never, again, in his career with the Dodgers, I never would have said that he's a leader, or at least he's been that mainstay of the Dodgers. No, it's a egotistical mainstay, or at least a centerpiece for the Dodgers that has been nothing but a headache.
Yeah, and that's just it. He thinks this is
sure he can be a good offensive piece. He can make great defensive plays, but other than that, though, it just seems like it's all about him.
And he's not solid every game, is he?
No.
So
he's a crybaby. Dodgers are trash. We'll move on. Giants got the victories and looking for the sweep tonight.
Now the question will be, what will MLB do? I would think
they'll suspend Puig, fine him, and I think they'll suspend. They'll give even suspensions. I would assume for Henley and Puig, they'll give even suspensions.
Well, I don't know. Again, this will be up to the home plate umpire because he stepped in. You could see that last night. He stepped in when the words were being spread by both guys. Mm-hmm. And again, the home plate umpire is listening to the conversation that Hundley is telling him to get back in the box, quit being a ham and egg, or whatever was said. And then the umpire tried to step in between. So he will, send his commentary into Major League Baseball. Puig will get the bulk of the suspension. I think Hundley might get a game. I think Puig's going to get 3.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is,
I don't know. I think MLB will try to. They'll go, well, we're not going to favor anyone. Just both get the same amount. There you go. Have fun.
Well, if that be the case, both Hundley and Puig will have that chance.
Because again, technically, both did engage. I mean, Hundley obviously had to defend himself from Puig trying to slap him like a little girl. But it's a situation where I think MLB is going to make that decision of going, all right, well, we got to keep it even. You both participated. I anticipate maybe you suspend him 2-3 games. Nothing major.
The thing for Puig, I wouldn't go on the appellate process. I would get and take those suspensions right now. Take the games off now because you're going to be needed down the road. Hundley, I think, can do that. He can step away right now. Like you said, they got Hernandez who can back up Posey. Posey has been taking some time off at catching lately in favor of Hundley. So Hundley, I think, if he does, and I don't think he's going to get a game. He did throw a punch. If you look at the,
I think it's more so of you instigated possibly.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think this was all on Puig. Puig's, like you said, he's such a ham, and again, I use that word ham and egger, that he, and like you said, the ego, because he basically said, get in the box, quit being a showboat. Because again, you look what he did with the bat, and I said this before too. I got ticked off back in the Batista home run that time against the Astros in the playoffs, where he did the flick of the bat because he was Mr. I'm bad, and that's cool that you hit the winning home run.
I have no issue with it.
I do. I had, again, next time you come up, I'm putting one behind your ear.
Oh yeah, that's kind of the unwritten rule of baseball. You got to be prepared for that. But again, I have no issue if you want to be like that. Go ahead.
Stupid. You're
pay the repercussions.
Yeah. That's right. And he did pay the price when he got to Texas. It was against Texas, excuse me, not against Houston. So again, he did pay the price, and I think that the second baseman, I can't remember, him and the second baseman got into it, and he got tagged a little bit Batista did.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Giants-Dodger rivalry, ladies and gentlemen, is alive and well. I like it.
It's been alive.
And we're happy that on this end here, and Chris is not here to defend himself, but too bad. Giants up 2-0 on this road trip. We're back after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Before David Dotson started talking about putting Wyoming first, he had a few other firsts. He first lived in Massachusetts, where he voted as a Democrat just a few years ago. Before landing in Jackson Hole, Dotson first gave $2,300 to support Barack Obama for president. Then Dotson gave $1,000 backing Bernie Sanders, the socialist. And while he now claims to live in Jackson Hole, Dotson built a multi-million-dollar home in California. Oh, and before running for Senate, Dotson first had to switch parties, becoming a Wyoming Republican only months ago. If Massachusetts and Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders and California all came first for David Dotson, doesn't that mean that he's putting Wyoming last?
I'm John Barrasso, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of John Barrasso. BarrassoForWyoming.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634. Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project. Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 K-Ray, and you can stream live with us at 1480kray.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 51. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 82. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 53.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Have you been following the story? And again, it's not like it's secondary news. I mean, this thing has been all over the sports, and that's.
Are you talking Jalen and Ramsey like we were supposed to talk about?
No, we're going to talk that. We're going to save that for the last couple of minutes here. But the situation of Maryland, the Jordan McNair death.
Well, yeah, where Maryland is taking full blame.
I mean. Yeah, finally, they're stepping up. They're ponying up like, oh, gosh.
Maybe we shouldn't have run that guy through massive heat and cause a heat stroke. Yeah, I mean, finally, Maryland, you step up to the plate. Absolutely. I think that was the right thing to do is say, yeah, it's on our fault. We'll take full responsibility. So I think as well, too, again, without knowing full details, I hope that they're taking care of all, at least finances for at least this family having to deal with this. And hopefully it's something that kind of brings light to that program, or at least to that university of going, let's try and avoid something like this.
Well, and again, too, they're also avoiding the long, drawn-out court battle that's going to be very expensive. It's easier to pay the till now.
Yeah.
So, again, University of Maryland President Wallace Lowe yesterday said the school accepts legal and moral responsibility for the mistakes made by its athletic training staff on a workout May 29th that ultimately led to the death of 19-year-old offensive lineman Jordan McNair from heat stroke. The university also parted ways with Rick Court, the assistant athletic director for sports performance. Court resigned Monday, according to a letter he posted on Twitter, and he reached a financial settlement with the university yesterday. Lowe said he and athletic director Damon Evans visited with McNair's family in Baltimore earlier on Tuesday to express on behalf of the university their apology for the loss of their son. Lowe added in a written statement, they entrusted their son to us, and he did not return home.
Yeah. Again, good, at least good on Maryland to at least finally admit to it, at least with that assistant AD, certainly the right thing to get him out of that, at least university, but maybe it's the same situation we see with kind of college coaches of, well, he might be removed from Maryland, but someone else is going to probably come knocking at his door going, hey, we got a position here. Would you like to take it? But, I mean, what else can you say on this one? It was a bad situation that should never have happened, and Maryland, as they have finally done it, I don't know why it took them so damn long to get
it happened in May, and where are we at now? August.
It took you that long to come out and admit fault to this, where you knew firsthand, you knew that this was your fault. Right. That this should never have happened.
Right. All right. So our final thought here this afternoon, and we briefly touched upon it in hour number one, and Nick got mad at me because I was popping off.
We had a schedule to follow.
But also Jalen Ramsey, who is a cornerback.
For the Jags.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he's just not liking the new breed of quarterbacks.
No, he had
football.
He had various thoughts on just quarterbacks in general, at least throughout the league. It wasn't just picking on these rookie quarterbacks. No, he had thoughts on Jared Goff, from Matt Ryan to Tom Brady to even one Josh Allen. And all I did is just highlight, again, it wasn't positive. He had negative things about Matt Ryan, thought he was overrated. He thought Big Ben was overrated. He thinks that Josh Allen is trash. Again, it wasn't it was technically cherry picking, and I think this is more trash talk of going, or at least, yeah, I would say, long and short, it is trash talk of going, hey, I don't think anything of you, especially of these quarterbacks that he's eventually going to see, of going, well,
I like what he said, though. He played at Wyoming. Every time they played a big school, like they played Iowa State, which is not a big school, in my opinion, because I went to Florida State.
When they played Iowa State?
Did
they ever play
Iowa?
Yeah, so he's wrong on that one.
Yeah, again, this is what I'm saying. He's a moron, and
this was in an article towards.
Oh, by the way, he's not politically correct. Anyway, he goes, and he threw 5 interceptions, and they lost by a couple of touchdowns or something like that. He never beat a big school. If you look at games against big schools, well, I know he beat Boise State. Anyway,
I wouldn't consider that a big school, though.
Oh, I do. It's one that's going to be probably.
And it's not a powerhouse.
It will be a Power 5 school. If you look at games against big schools, it was always hella interceptions, hella turnovers. It's like, yo, if you're this good, why couldn't you do better? He fits that mold. He's a big, tall quarterback, big arms, supposedly. I don't see it personally.
And all he's trying to do is stir things up, and I wouldn't doubt he personally believes all this stuff. And go right ahead.
But
Jalen Ramsey, what have you
look
done?
At the stats, though. Yeah, you might want to look at.
I was
stats.
gonna say, Jalen Ramsey, you've been one Pro Bowl selection, you've been an All-Pro. Whoop-de-doo, you played on a terrible Jags team that's probably not going to do anything. You're trash yourself. I don't think you're the best cornerback in all of the league. I think there's probably 10 others I can name before at least you of who I'd probably choose on a fantasy draft or anything like that.
Chris Harris Jr. from the Broncos.
Yeah,
I'm on him before anything.
Hell, I take at least a boy out of San Francisco with why can't I think of his name now?
That's all right.
Wow, why am I putting a blank? Richard Sherman.
There you go.
I'd probably take him more than I would Jalen Ramsey, but again, you're trash. Come on, man. Again, what have you proven? You haven't done anything. The Jags, you got lucky one year. There's no guarantee that Jacksonville is going to be good this year. Jacksonville, for whatever reason, has this chip on their shoulder of going, we're going to be the best team. We're winning the Super Bowl this year.
You got Blake Bortles.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
He's trash.
Well, I won't go that far. He's not trash.
Yeah.
He's just not going to get you to the dance.
No, that Jacksonville team is not a Super Bowl contending team. It might compete for a playoff spot, but who knows at this point.
That's it.
You got lucky because, again, the South was terrible, but it's looking like the AFC South is going to be a little bit more improved with Houston, especially with Luck. Luck is going to be back with Titans. Again, that's going to be a competitive division if all things kind of stand pat and at least kind of those mainstays are healthy. But come on now, Jalen Ramsey, apparently you wanted a whole state to hate on you, and guess what? You got it with the state of Wyoming.
Well, and again, too, if you're going to pop off and say something like, and they lost to Iowa State, before you lip off, know who he lost to. You could even throw an Oregon in there. You didn't.
Yeah.
Because you're not bright. You said Iowa State. They played Iowa. They lost to the Hawkeyes. Not the Cyclones. All right.
Yeah,
anyway.
Ramsey's he's an idiot.
He's a moron.
Do something with your own career. Focus on your own career than judging others out there. Come on now. And again, I completely know what he's trying to do, but come on now. Do something in your career that's more prevalent, and then maybe I'll respect you. Go win a title. Go win a Super Bowl, and then maybe I'll respect you a little bit more.
You might want to watch
but you're nobody.
You might want to watch the way.
You're nobody, and you play in a nobody town with a Jacksonville Jaguar team, a franchise that's just garbage. It's been garbage. You're one step above the Browns.
Watch the waiver wire. That's where he'll be at pretty soon. All right, we got to wrap things up. We have Red Skeleton Times 2, 8 until 9 tonight, as we bring you the Golden Age of Radio Theater, and from 9 until 10, it is Suspense Theater. Once again, thank you to Logan Harris. Join us in the 3 o'clock hour, which seems so long ago, and Tevis Bartlett from the University of Washington. We appreciate that. Logan Harris with the University of Wyoming Cowboys. Making our program a lot easier to do today, so we thank you. And those guys were great interviews. I appreciate how well spoken they were. So, again, thank you so much for joining us here today on the program. So, with that being said, the best of the 50s and 60s, locked and loaded, coming up here in just a little bit. Before we send it back to the music, Nick Proetti, the birthday boy, mañana, has some...
What the hell does that mean?
Your birthday tomorrow. I haven't forgotten it. But again,
good for you.
You might want to take a look in your card, though. Oops. Huh? Something's missing in that card.
What card? Exactly. I never got one, so whatever.
That's right.
So I'm not hurt. Anyways, it is August 15th. We'll go back to the year 1993. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. Again, August 15th, 1993.
You ate your birthday present today.
Whoop-de-doo. August 15th, 1993. This finale happened in Major League Baseball.
August 15th, 1993. 25 years ago to the date. This finale was the last game played before the strike, which wiped out the World Series that year. Baseball did not come back until 1994.
Wrong. You're not even close. It was a finale for a player, for a legendary player.
Finale for a legendary player. Oh,
I just recently saw his World Series ring.
You just saw his World Series ring. That would be in Texas. That would be Nolan Ryan's final performance.
It was Nolan Ryan's 324th and final victory where he defeated who? Who did he play for and who did he beat?
He was with Texas and beat the Athletics.
You probably wouldn't get it. But yes, he was with the Rangers. They defeated the Indians, the Cleveland Indians, 4-1. So on the state, Nolan Ryan with his final victory against the Cleveland Indians.
I just know he struck out Ricky Henderson for his